Hello fellow YouTubers, my name is BobStraitFTW, and today I want to talk about jury duty. So here in America, we have this thing called trial by jury, where if you got in trouble with the law, instead of a judge making the call whether you're guilty, you can have a group of your peers judge whether you are guilty or not. This is something that as a citizen of the United States of America, you have a chance to be part of an actual jury for one of these trials. Now, of course, there are some things that can disqualify you, or things that you may want to use to kind of get yourself out of jury duty. One of the best examples I know of is if you're over the age of 70, you can still serve, but you can choose not to if you don't want to. Now, why am I talking about this subject all of a sudden on my channel without anything to say whatsoever of the subject previously of the... what? The reason that I'm talking about jury duty is because I literally just got back at 10:30 in the morning from having to go to jury duty. Now, sadly, I didn't get picked. They had a total of 340 people show up to this thing, and they only chose 140 of them, and about 40 people got exemptions to leave. Now, because I had to go and everything, I get paid a total of $6, so woohoo! And on top of that, I don't have to serve for at least another 3 years, so if my name does get picked, I can say no for the next 3 years. Now, I kind of wanted to see how the system all worked out. It was a really cool concept, and I'm glad that I actually got to experience what little of it that I did get to experience. Actually, as I was entering the building, I had forgotten that I carry a little credit card knife in my wallet that I just almost never use. It never really has a purpose for the most part other than popping open a beer or maybe opening mail, and that totally tripped their little thing, and so I had to go put that in my car. I was internally very scared because I had just accidentally brought a knife into a city building, and you're really not supposed to do that. So I walked through the little metal detector things, up some stairs, and that's where I have to, like, scan my little juror badge, which was actually a pretty interesting system, which I didn't think that the government could afford any technology whatsoever, only because there was not a single TV in that place that was from this century. So I got there about 40 minutes early, and boy am I glad that I did, because I actually got to sit down the entire time, whereas there were 20 or 30 people out of the group of 300 of us that had to stand in the back because there were not enough chairs. Now, I got there at 7:40, and we weren't supposed to start until 8:20, so getting there early was a good idea, but the judge was fairly late, and so I don't think we got started until 9. Now, when the judge got there, she said, all of the people that may have an exemption, please come talk to me, and about 40 people got to leave right then and there, but the kicker is that they had to come back within a month to do their new jury service, because that's more of an extension than it is like, see you next 3 years thing. So after those people were gone, there were a total of 303 people left, and they only needed 150 people to move on to the next step. Now, I didn't get selected to move on to the next step, and part of me was relieved, and part of me was disappointed, just because I kind of wanted to see how the system worked, and the other reason was I didn't want to be there. So those two kind of canceled out, and I was more neutral about the whole thing, and I was actually prepared to go on to the next step, which is called voir dire. Now, they didn't actually need that many people to serve on an actual jury. Those are just the amount of people that moved on, the 150, to the next step. Now, I won't go into too much detail, but there were 3 groups of people that they called out. The first group had 60 people, and out of those 60 people, only 12 of them would actually serve on a jury. Now, in voir dire, they examine the jurors to make sure that they're impartial and unbiased on certain subjects that won't affect the case in any way. Now, since I didn't move on to that step, I can't really talk about what it was like or anything like that. I was there for like a total of 3 hours at the most, and I got paid $6, so that's not slave labor at all. But it was overall, for me personally, a very cool experience. I did have a lot of anxiety just because I'm not around that many people at one time. Like I said, there were 300 people in a small compact room that's, you know, like the size of maybe a very small gymnasium or a very large classroom. One of the reasons that I like to make videos like this is because not only is this YouTube channel a place where I like to entertain my viewers and stuff like that, but it's kind of a video log per se, or more of an audio log of my personal life. And I love to go back to old videos and watch, you know, what my opinions were or how everything was going in my life at that time, and listen to that video and be like, wow, I've changed so much since that time. And not to mention, it helps me get rid of gameplays that are at least 3 years old. If you made it to the end of the video, please put the word duty in your comment in the comment section below so that I know that you watched the video all the way to the end and are the best viewer and or subscriber ever. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Really help me and my channel out.
That is all.
Yeah, you fucking bitch! So suck a giant cock, you motherfucker. I'm going in.